Lisa. I have some photos from my mom's birthday that I want to scrap today. I made this cake. Was a coconut cake with raspberry filling, and I used the 7-minute frosting. I've never done 7-minute frosting before. I've always been afraid it wouldn't fluff up and turn out, and or I'd put it on the cake and it's kind of a marshmallow kind of base, that it would just sort of disintegrate and the whole cake would just slide off its pedestal. But that did not happen. It did really well and it tasted great, and so I will probably do this one again sometime. But anyway, I wanted to scrap these photos, and I have all this wonderful product from Basic Gray. A friend sent me a bunch of page kits, and she wanted to pass along to me, and I'm just thrilled because I love Basic Gray, and you can't get the new stuff anymore, and these are still new to me. I was amazed when I went through them. There was only one out of all of them that I had the paper before, so they were all really new and fun things. And this is a collection called RSVP, and so it's got lots of great embellishments and some stickers here. But let's take a look at the papers and see what's going to go well. Oh, it has these. Not all the page kits have this much stuff with them, but this one had a lot with it. So let's see what we've got here to go with this. Well, this green paper right off the bat looks really good with that, with my tablecloth in the background. And there were 2 sheets of paper. This may have been one of those where some of the page kits, there were 2 from the same collection and I combined them, so this might have been one of those where I combined, because I've got a lot of papers here. So let's see which ones look good for this. I have some other photos from that day telling a different story that I want to scrap, and I know I want to use some red colors for it, so I will want to save some paper for that one too. There will be kind of a companion page in the book. It's not so much about her birthday, but just something else that I want to cover. So let's see what looks good here. Thinking that maybe like these 2 would be good for that other set of photos. We'll kind of set those aside. So let's see, these are just, it's like this is the back side of that one. I like these polka dots. I don't know if that's going to be too childlike. Maybe just a little bit of yellow is good. See, I like that green right there off the top. Yeah, I think I've got it laying on one of the prettiest papers. And I like this paper. Pink is pretty. Let's start with these, and maybe, no, I might save that for the other one. So let's start with these 3. And because I want to use quite a few of the embellishments, and then we'll figure out what we're going to do embellishment-wise for these photos. And I haven't worked out a layout for them or a sketch for them because I kind of wanted to see what I wanted to do with the embellishments. This is a pack of wood veneer pieces. I didn't measure them, but there's probably some 3x5s in here and some different sizes. They're pretty large for a 12x12 page. Probably going to use one of them at this point. And I know I want to use some chipboard, and I think there was a cake in here that would be just the right thing. There's some cupcakes and stuff too, but we're going to use that cake and maybe some of these others as we go along. Kind of starting with the larger things, seeing if there's any stickers that work. There's also a Make-A-Wish sticker there. And then I have some letter stickers that went with this. So I really like the idea of Make-A-Wish as a title. I went back to the cards to see if there was any others. I think I want to use this one with the cake on it, even though I'm going to use some cake chipboard, because that's there. I want to keep the collection, I want to use the pieces that really pertain to birthdays, because I don't do that many birthday pages. And then the rest of the collection can be used for other things. And I may use it for another birthday, or I may use it for other pages like the one I have in mind that happened on her birthday but didn't really have anything to do necessarily with the birthday. So I've got the one there with the cake. I'm going to probably need to trim it down a little bit more. I also have these little flags. I guess I don't remember the official name for them, but we're going to call them flags. And there was a happy birthday one there, and there's a let's eat cake. So those are perfect as well. And some others, I think a couple of them will probably be sufficient. So I'm starting to get an idea here that I'm going to be building some embellishment groupings using some of these stickers and whatnot. Kind of like the Make-A-Wish sticker, especially if I don't use that big Make-A-Wish wood veneer piece was just really big, and it was really kind of taking over, so I think I'd rather use the sticker. Probably going to cut these down into strips and put them behind the photos. So I've done a little bit of trimming here. I've got my slice of cake a little bit smaller photo. My mom cut herself a slice of cake, and I don't think she realized how big it was until she cut it. And I kept offering her, you could take some of that home because you're going to take most of the cake home with you. She ate all of it, so I guess she really liked it. It's not like her to do that. And I'm adding another sticker to the bottom of this. There'll be a place to do some handwritten journaling, and then I'm going to put that Let's Eat Cake little banner on with some dimensional adhesive. That's what the word I'm trying to think of there. Okay, I've cut some strips down of the papers. And the order of these, of course, we're lighting the candles, blowing out the candles, and then we've got the cake piece there. And the little banners are working out perfect. So we have Happy Birthday up in the upper left corner, and then it sort of works its way diagonally down the page to Let's Eat Cake, and we have the piece cut. And we're going to add Make-A-Wish in there because that's the middle thing that we would be doing. And I'm going back to the cards to see if there's one I can use to assemble this group of embellishments. And there's the little polka dot one. I was a little afraid the polka dot one would be too childlike, but it's not. I think it works really well with this page. I think the key here to keeping this, it's not a super childlike collection at all anyway. And I think the key to it is just being discretionary with the embellishments and not overdoing it. It's hard to know how many embellishments. In a way you want to save them, in a way you want to use them. It's like that old phrase, you can't have your cake and eat it too, a phrase I've never liked because I never could understand what you would do with the cake if you didn't eat it. So, but I understand it here because you sort of want to save stuff. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm planning to emboss this background stamp with some Distress Oxide ink because I want to do a matte for my mom's photo, and I got mixed up there for a minute and I put Versamark on it, and then I remembered, oh no, I'm using the Distress Oxide. The Distress Oxide inks will emboss, so you just have to stamp them and then add your clear embossing powder. This is not quite large enough to do a background for a 4x6 photo, so I'm having to do a little bit more to it, and I matched it up pretty well, especially working upside down. You're not going to see very much of it anyway. It's going to be the matte. So it doesn't have to be a perfect lineup or perfect, I've got a tiny little gap between the two sections there. That's okay. I'm just trying to get a little bit more interest than having just a plain piece of cardstock behind her photo. And I wanted to do that rather than the designer paper. The only designer paper that really worked was a red polka dot, and we had enough dots, enough polka dot kind of things here. I didn't get my photo far enough down, so I'm going to move that down just a little bit more. And then I think to finish off this card, I'm going to use some washi tape to sort of ground these embellishments a bit. So just a couple of strips of washi, wrap that around to the back, and then we can add our little flag and the cake, and then the Make-A-Wish is going to sort of hang off the side there and go right over her photo. And then for my title down at the bottom, I'm going to use some twine and take those letter stickers and kind of make a little banner. Now, to glue these wood pieces on, about the only way I know that's going to really hold them on is hot glue. They warp a little bit, and that's just about it. You might could get them to stay with glue dots or something, but I think this is going to be the best alternative. So we're going to do a little bit of twine, and we'll put a little bit of it wrapped to the back with some tape. And then I'm going to keep a real short title here. It's going to be M.E.B. Day. My mother's initials are M.E., and so she writes that on inside books and stuff, her books, and she loans them to people. So that's just, she uses that a lot, and so I thought that would be appropriate. So it kind of looks like me, birthday, but that's her initials. And then underneath we'll add some journaling in just a moment. There I've got my journaling. I typed that on the typewriter. And I'm looking to see if there's anything else I want to add, maybe that little star. Any other stickers. I decided to put a couple of the little corner stickers. I had a time getting them straight, but just to kind of add a little more embellishment going down the page, down the corner of the page. And so now we'll do some close-ups. And I really, really appreciate my friends sending me these embellishments and papers. They're just wonderful, and I'm having so much fun with them. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the video.